So our first question is very simply, could you please tell us what the Domestic Abuse Lead Worker Service is designed to do? Oh, hang on, I've muted you, Lucy. There you go. Sorry, Lucy, you're still muted. If you just unmute yourself.
Yep.
You're on.
Better. Brilliant. Okay. So good morning, everybody. So just briefly, I'm one of the team leaders on the domestic abuse projects. There's 2 team leaders, 1 service manager, and we have about 25 lead workers still recruiting and about 300 live cases at the moment. So our service, the DA lead worker contract, is commissioned by Birmingham City Council to provide floating support to vulnerable adults and families to stay safe within their home or find suitable accommodation. I guess the aim of the commissioning service is to enable vulnerable adults to live independently within the communities, within their communities, should I say. So our support can be flexible, based within the home or out in the community, and we can also work jointly with other partners offering that wraparound support. And then I guess our support is holistic, personalised to meet the client's circumstances, and our outcomes can include or will include advice and guidance on legal remedies to reduce risk of harm, housing advice, welfare benefits, managing finances, access to education, training and employment, develop life skills, access to gain appropriate services across the community. Yeah, hopefully I didn't say all that too fast.
No, I think we got it. Which leads us to our next question. Could you please tell us about the referral criteria for any clients of your service?
Yeah, so it's a gender neutral service supporting adults over 18 with or without children who are victims of domestic abuse to have a housing need, but that doesn't have to be like a statutory housing need. So you don't have to be in a certain type of accommodation to be eligible for the service. Have a local connection to Birmingham, but we can deliver support if you're based in temporary refuge outside of Birmingham with a view to move back. At the moment, referrals for women can come or have to come from third-party organisations which have like a daily capacity set up already, and males can self-refer. So it's pretty straightforward.
Perfect. Thank you very much. How long can you provide support for? What's the sort of time frame?
Okay, so the contract's designed to support for up to 12 months where needed, but if those support needs are met sooner, then we can close sooner. So we are currently in a 3-year, in year 3 of a possible 5-year contract.
Perfect, thank you very much. Could you tell us about any myths or misconceptions that people might have about the service you provide? Okay,
so we have a few. I think some agencies think that we are an accommodation finding service or we have our own stock, but that's not true. Or sometimes we're kind of asked if we just will support with grants for furniture, etc. Another one might be that sometimes we're seen as like family support, where we can support the family unit with maybe the perpetrator included, but we don't do that.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I think that's it, yeah.
Yeah, no, those absolutely great. We're whipping through them. So I think we're going to go over to Shoista now. Thank you very much, Lucy. Shoista, could you please give us an example of a sort of an example client, the sort of journey of support they might go through with you?
Example client. I had one client where we were giving telephone support initially. However, we quickly realized after a couple of sessions that she wasn't doing so well.
Yeah.
So then myself, and she had a probation support worker as well, working with her son. So I quickly set up a meeting to go to the client's house, to see her face to face, find out what was happening. She still wasn't feeling any better when we were there. So, and then obviously we realised there was a second perpetrator involved.
Right.
And that's when obviously everything started to kick into place. So we've got social services, the police, the son's probation services, obviously, because we had to protect the son as well because he was a lot older and we didn't want him to get into trouble over what was happening. So yeah, that's an example client at the moment, but we had to try and get a support. We obviously put a MARAC into place try and get her moved. Eventually, she didn't want to be moved, but we got sanctuary housing involved to try and come and make her existing space safe from the perpetrator. Lucky for us, she had CCTV in place already. So yeah, that's the sort of thing that we sort of help with. We work with a lot of agencies as well. So, you know, anyone, and as soon as something like that happens, especially with a client who's got 2 perpetrators involved, and it you know, the risk in that was, it was on the morning that I went to the house that she'd actually been attacked.
Right.
So that's why everything was sort of quickly put into place for her. And within a week or two, she was, you know, she was okay. Well, she's okay now, but yeah, everything was put into place for her.
Great, thank you. That's a really good example of work. As I think, as Lucy said earlier, it's you're trying to do a bespoke service, exactly what the client needs. It's you're not providing the same thing for every client.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And our last question for this section: have there been any changes that were made to how the service was being provided during the pandemic? It's up for debate whether we're still in it or not. But are there any changes that were made that are still in place now?
I still continue with obviously doing phone support sessions. That's because some of my clients are still happy with it.
Yeah.
However, like the example I gave you before, you know, if I find that a client isn't doing so well, or you know, they don't want to engage, or you know, they're a bit fearful, or something else that I don't think something else is quite right in that family, I'll go and pay a visit. And obviously I'll get my basis covered. I'll tell Lucy, Maureen, Mark what I'm doing, go see the client, try and exactly find out what is happening, because sometimes face-to-face is a lot better than telephone support. And at the same time, the client feels that there's an actual human being right in front of them trying to help them, rather than somebody on the phone. So yeah, at the moment I am only attending on sort of my high risk clients really, and that's it. The rest of them are happy with telephone support sessions.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.